in the blink of an eye. Dalia Merayot. The artist's words. Millions of years ago, on the slopes of the Zin cliffs, in the heart of the desert, the slow movements of water and wind, together with the influence of celestial bodies on the workings of our world, began shaping sculptural patterns in the soft, chalky soil. For the past 7 years, I have found my place near this barren desert region, close to the cliffs of the stream. For a long time it remained a riddle to me. What was that hidden force that time and again drew me to seek the closeness of the mountains? Indeed, I returned to them under the blazing sun, through sandstorms, and on winter days, as though searching for a precious treasure beyond my understanding. Years passed, and then, after 2 life-shaking events, one day it happened. There, before the sculpted cliffs that rose across from me, in a place perhaps untouched by human feet, a place free of worldly distractions, the wondrous revealed itself. For fleeting fragments of a moment, as my gaze was caught upon a mountainside or within a rocky hollow, my soul released its burdens and allowed itself to touch a hidden place within. Then visions and images appeared before me as though projected in a crystal ball. It must be said, some of these visions revealed themselves as puzzling, cloaked in mystery. Were these images projections of my own soul, I wondered? Did they reflect inner processes that exist within us all? Or perhaps, so my thoughts wandered, some of these visions came to tell us of something infinite within us, something beyond ourselves, beyond the worlds we have known, beyond the power of imagination itself. I documented the visions as they appeared through the camera's lens, preserving their original form and emphasizing their light. From these revelations, I created a deck of cards in the blink of an eye, and now this deck is presented before you. In the blink of an eye, 30 mystical desert visions. The kingdom. Deep within the mountain, between the folds of time and stone, lies a royal court, perhaps a secret court of an ancient dynasty that dwelled in the mountain and never descended to the plains. There sat the queen, her back draped in a cloak of stone and light. The mountain slopes her train. A crown seemed to rest upon her head. Whoever crossed her unseen gates did not understand at once, but felt they had stepped across a threshold into the enchantment of another world. In the blink of an eye, everything passed so swiftly. In the blink of an eye, the figures merged into the embrace of the mountain like fragments of life. The mountain drew them close like Mother Nature herself, like an eternal home, without anyone noticing. Passages between the worlds. Between the ridges of the mountains, wrapped in a dreamlike blue, a world appears that does not belong to the seasons of the year. It is a frozen moment in time when the boundaries between the known and the hidden blur. A winding desert stream, flooded with light, leads not only to a place, it is an inner path that does not end in a valley or a mountain but in the possibility of crossing. A herd of ibex rests at the foot of the slope, their presence strengthening the sense of reality within the abstract as ancient gatekeepers between the worlds. At times on the threshold of the passage the plea echoes, "Strengthen my spirit and do not let me return as I came." in the dead of night. In the dead of night, magical forces seeped into the revealed world, and the boundaries of imagination opened to glimpse another realm. A secret cloaked meeting between two figures emerged. Could one sense a connection they shared with other worlds, of different time, existence, and consciousness? They arrived from the two edges of the horizon, he from the deep stillness of shadows, she from the breath of light. The mountains listened in silence, as if they knew this moment had already been written into the great ledger of time when the hills and stones were first created. Portrait. High atop the cliff in the heart of the desert, a timeless portrait stands. Its features were born from the stone, not carved by human hands, but because the mountain itself wished to remember. Longing. Figures bathed in an almost supernatural blue light gazed outward. The emptiness around them hinted at a lack, perhaps of a person, a place, or another time, creating a sense of distance mingled with a yearning to return. And perhaps this longing is not only for what was lost, but for what never happened, yet is desired. Blessing of fate. They stood together on the edge of the rock, facing the abyss that had opened before them, weary from the road, scarred by the wind. The moment felt like the threshold of something, yet they knew deep within, the blessing of fate is not to be asked for, but to be open to. It asks for a heart that has not hardened, and a faith that the good is still possible. In the passages of souls, within a space where time does not move but is simply present, the passage resides. The blue mountains stand like witnesses, remembering every breath, every farewell. This is a landscape beyond beauty. It does not seek to be seen, but to be absorbed. It embodies not what the eye sees, but what the heart remembers from another time, perhaps before birth, perhaps from the moment of forgetting. The souls are not described, yet they are present, unseen, yet felt. Here, between beginning and ending, between body and spirit, there are no questions, only complete acceptance. It once seemed that a voice was heard here, not a knowing, but a whisper. Not all who pass, leave, some cross, to remember. The dancers. In a desert expanse, between layers of bluish light, appeared a dance of ancient figures caught between dimensions. A dance unfolding between dream and recognition, between truth and illusion, circling around the secret of another reality. It is a dance with no stage, no audience, only the dance itself, pure, ancient, stretching the limits of reality. They do not dance to be seen. They dance because only in this way they exist. With no refuge. Among the desert rocks, an open alcove shaped like a seashell appeared. Something about the place, the silence, the blue that came from nowhere, the shadows that remained still, revealed it. Deep within the alcove, The figure of a maiden could be seen, drawn inward. She wore a white garment, her hair flowing behind her, her face turned toward the stone wall that offered no escape. She had arrived there near nightfall, as the borders of light began to close, a cold blue descending upon her outline from the stones. She tried to think why she had come. Perhaps to flee, perhaps to find, or perhaps there was simply no way back. She knew what the place was asking for, something unsaid for years, something deeper, something one cannot run from, only agree to face. The Desert Goddess. An ancient realm seemed to hover between waking and dream. A desert goddess appeared, the entire mountain wearing her form. Her body was shaped from golden hills, her head lifted high, her arms stretched outward, her lines running with the veins of the rock, her hair the winding ridges of the slopes, the light around her waist falling like a cloak. She had never walked. She was created within the mountain itself, born from the cracks and shapes etched into the stone by the winds of time. Every time one looks at her, she changes, sometimes a primeval giantess, sometimes an eternal maiden of light. At moments it seems she says, "You were not meant to see me. I am hidden within the light. I do not speak. I manifest. I do not guard. I am present. Every eye that truly looks at me never returns as it was, not because I weigh it down, but because it dared to look without needing answers." The seal, a promise of the path's continuity. A lifeline winds through a barren desert, stretching beyond the unseen horizon. Silent cliffs surrounded the trail like ancient witnesses. They had seen worlds rise and fall, paths cut off in the dust of time, yet here, within the seal, the path insists on existing. It continues beyond what the eye can see. This is the seal, carrying the promise of the path's continuity, even when everything stands still, even when it disappears from sight. It does not promise you will always see the way, but it promises it will remain, even when you walk in darkness. The one who sees in the crystal ball. Her figure appeared still, yet within her heart raged a storm of ancient knowledge. She sees things before they happen, but does not touch fate, only opens a gateway between what is seen and what still dwells in shadow. On the paths of souls. In this desert expanse, hinted at in forgotten writings, there exists a layer so thin between reality and what lies beyond. Time here is not measured in the familiar way. A single moment can last an eternity. Between the shadows and the folds of the mountain, figures appear, not sharply defined, yet present and felt, like the presence of ancient beings. They watch without intervening. They stand there, unmoving, and yet it seems they know every traveler who passes through the crossing. They know each one carries a small truth, an unsung secret of life. They remain silent, not judging, not forgiving, only keeping watch. Bearer of secrets. A hypnotic blue light of longing is sent from a hidden world. Whoever gazes into it, even for a moment, hears the silent call, "Come home." Not to the physical home, but to the one long forgotten in the heart. Suddenly the path was lit. Suddenly the path was lit with a light that had no source, not from the sun, not from the moon, but from an inner radiance, as if the heart itself had shone out of the darkness, illuminating the way. Before the gates open, a fierce desert landscape in shades of violet and blue slowly dissolved into silence, inviting one to stand at the threshold of a hidden passage. Between the curves of the rock and the glowing light, time grew hazy, and space became an opening between darkness and light, between reality and dream, a place where one opens to hear what has not been spoken, a space awaiting something inevitable to occur, a place where gates open, not in the rocks but in the soul. And whoever dares to truly look will know this is the moment when the boundaries between worlds dissolve. Stone with a soft heart. The mountain had stood for years against the winds, cracking again and again along sharp lines. Every fissure was a testament to an old battle, to each attempt to change what could not be melted down. And now, as if it had let go, not surrendered, but simply ceased to fight, the light slid over it with rare gentleness, settling into its slopes as if it had always been there, waiting for a moment of quiet acceptance to remain with what is. What? Before, a greenish light without source swept across the rocks like a raven poised at the edge of a message. Between darkness and light, between time that has passed and time yet to come, a mountain stood in the heart of silence. Two faint human figures lingered at its threshold. There, at the edge of stillness, something was breathing, not life, not death, something third, something that had not yet happened before. The weight of matter. They were many, yet silent, scattered across the wall of the mountain, their hands raised upward but their eyes extinguished. The mountain was a wall and a shadow, a lock and a jailer. It spoke to them in the language of old fears. Do not go too far. You cannot cross. But in each of them a faint spark burned, barely visible, yet stubborn. It whispered softly, there is a world beyond the mountain, not of matter but of possibilities. And she suddenly was aware. Between the folds of the mountain, her figure was etched in the stone silence, like a memory of an ancient kingdom. Perhaps it was not a human figure at all, but that of a powerful priestess who once ruled over mighty forces of life. She is simply there, present. She does not judge, nor does she wait. She is an anchor of time in a place where everything changes. Gatekeepers. From within a dense veil of blue light, an unfamiliar and enchanting landscape was woven. Shadows stretched and wrapped around shapes, blurring the line between reality and vision. A blaze of light fell upon frozen, silent shrubs. Deep lines were etched into the back of the mountain like figures. Here, in this stillness, the gatekeepers stand. They have no names, they do not speak, they do not move, they have no faces, only a quiet, absolute presence. They stand not to block, but to ask, "Are you present? Do you bring with you a pure heart, a clear intention?" No one passes without being examined. This is the land before the threshold, and they are its keepers. Take off your shoes. This is not a place you come to. It is a place that comes to you. You do not find it on a map, nor by following trails. But when you are ready, the cracks of the mountain were seared in golden fire, as if marked not by nature, but by intent. Around it, a heavy covering of shadows, as if the rest of the world had closed its eyes for a moment of revelation. The one standing there is barefoot, not because they chose to remove their shoes, but because something in this place strips away every barrier. Immersed in their dance toward the other realm. They moved as though they were one being, ignoring the boundaries of the physical, opening to rare moments of inner release, ascending toward the other realm. In secret, in the depths of the ridge, far from any marked path, lies a cave. Only eyes that have seen beyond would know it is there. Shadows surround the mountain, guarding an ancient secret, a forgotten ritual, or a lesson never taught openly. Wisdom preserved far from sight, passed gently to those willing to truly see. A glowing green light shone within. A teacher instructs students in secret. His presence is felt in every crack, every shadow. Deep inside the cave, the students gather, beings of silent learning. The teacher imparts wisdom that takes shape in stillness. Only those willing to remain without answers are truly present. Monks. In the heart of the desert, monks dwell in seclusion within a rocky alcove facing mighty mountains. Like guardians of the boundary between heaven and earth, they seek to free their spirit from the pain held within. Before dawn. Between the heartbeat of night and the first breath of light, the stones were washed in a violet glow. This is a world in the making, when nothing is yet decided. Before everything becomes clear, there is a brief moment when the soul is more awake and more open to making important choices. Before dawn, between darkness and light, between ending and beginning, between sleep and waking, souls listen. Prophecies are whispered. A moment with no past, no future, only the possibility that something is about to be revealed. It is the hour when the boundaries between worlds blur, hidden realms open, and reality forgets its own laws. A moment that almost always comes before dawn. Without meaning. A layer of violet mist painted the vision in a dreamlike hue, evoking the sense that something had once been said here, still echoing among the shadows. Ethereal figures rose from the stone, a presence without meaning. What appeared to the eye was enigmatic, not because it lacked intent, but because perhaps it asked for a different kind of seeing. Like a curtain's opening, a blue light revealed an ancient landscape. A moment before revelation, there was a different kind of silence, not of night, but of between the worlds. A moment when reality cracks and is about to unveil a deeper layer. A moment before the door closes, or just after it has opened. In the center stands a figure, like one waiting for the first or the last word to be spoken, a threshold between what is seen and what is implied, between frozen time and what may yet unfold. Harmony. Figures carved between time and wind, living statues of nature, take part in an eternal dance beneath the sky. Moonlight falls upon them like a whisper, revealing moments of frozen grace, of unity between matter and spirit. They are not merely stones, but keepers of ancient knowledge, performers of primeval rites, dancing forever between reality and dream.